Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This particular video is special not only to you but to me as well. I was a patient with Eustachian tube dysfunction, chronic tinnitus. Many people pronounce it as tinnitus, but medical terminology is tinnitus. A lot harder to say. The bottom line is pain in the ears. If you don't have the pain in the ears, you have a swirling, swishing, high pitch, loud noise, low pitch, pounding, weird sense that you're hearing that no one else hears but you. Something that can drive you crazy. Hard to sleep, hard to focus, hard to concentrate. I'm with you. I know what it's like. Although, as I always teach people around the world, that there's always a will, there's always a way. And we have to search for the right ways. And hopefully I'm here today to educate you, to feed you knowledge, to make a change in your life. I've been through a half a dozen ear, nose, and throat doctors. I've had 6 diagnoses. No one really ever diagnosed the problem because no one helped me. They all try to recommend different medications. Although I'm going to go over some important things generally. I could spend 2 hours talking about this. So in order to move along, for those that are eager to gain this information, you're going to hear it real quick. Let's first discuss the anatomy about the outer, middle, and inner ear. The external outer ear collects sound and carries it to the middle ear. The eardrum and the 3 tiny bones in the middle ear vibrate when hit by that sound energy. You have the semicircular balance canals. This collects information about the head movements and body position and sends this information to the brain. The cochlea, which is the hearing canal, turns vibration from the middle ear into sound signals that are sent to the brain. So when people have involvement within the middle ear, you may hear the tinnitus or tinnitus. Someone else may feel vertigo or dizziness, or you may have both. The bottom line is we're trying to get this body back to normal again. You're probably asking, how do you get this hearing loss? Well, many things can cause it. Infection, being around loud noise, accidents, an injury, a head contusion, aging, vascular conditions, arteriosclerosis. These little hair-like structures in the cochlea can be defective over time. Things can break down. There's many different things that can cause this. Now, I want to tell you from my experience that these doctors, most doctors, have no idea about tinnitus. They just will say, go ahead and take this steroid, take this decongestion, take this pill, whatever you want to do, and if it doesn't work, take something else. And it gets frustrating. And the cycle goes on and on and on, but meanwhile, we're still suffering. Millions of people are developing this condition. And I'm going to go in and tell you that a lot of these things can be combated by doing what I'm about to teach you. So I had to dig this information up. I had to be proactive. I understand that, doctors are not magicians. So we need to be the magician. We need to teach our own selves. We need to continue to strive and find the right answers like any other condition. As you can see, this Eustachian tube is a narrow tube that connects the space behind the eardrum, the middle ear, with the back of the nose. In the adults, it's usually about 3 to 4 centimeters long. The middle ear is normally filled with air. The air in the middle ear is constantly being absorbed by cells that line the middle ear. So fresh supplies of air are needed to get to the middle ear from time to time. As we mentioned, the Eustachian tube is normally closed but opens when we swallow, yawn, or chew. This allows air to flow into the middle ear and any mucus to flow out. Having equal air pressure on each side of the eardrum and the middle ear free of mucus helps the eardrum to vibrate. And this vibration is what's needed to have proper hearing. So what happens is, as this vibration is altered as a result of swelling inside the Eustachian tube or pressure, because as the pressure becomes greater on the outside, the eardrum can actually retract. Sometimes it can actually pull outward, but usually the eardrum will retract. Now, when that eardrum retracts, there's a lot of different pain-sensitive fibers that are transmitted from the eustachian tube to the middle ear. And these are the things that the doctors don't know. So that's why it's important. You must always get evaluated before you do anything. The information I'm gathering with you right now is something you can take to your ear, nose, and throat doctor and explain to him a little bit what you learned. He's going to look at you like you're a genius, which is good. But generally, when they look at it and they see a red tympanic membrane, they see it's all inflamed. Of course, you may be a candidate for antibiotics, but most do not need antibiotics. They're generally going to test your hearing first, and once your hearing is normal, then you're right back at square one again. What do I do? Well, generally they're going to tell you to take a decongestion and an antihistamine. That's the most common thing they're going to give you. You could take a spray antihistamine, or sometimes they have the decongestion and the spray, and you can spray it. Generally it's twice a day, helps keep it open. Hopefully that the fluid will come out. Hopefully it will heal. Generally after a cold, these things usually go away within a week or two. You may feel stuffy, you may feel clogged, but generally they go away. But many times they last for months and months and months. And this is what they don't know. So the decongestion basically is to open it up. The antihistamine, in case you're allergic to something. Then there are other types of decongestions that could be a little bit more aggressive, but you can't use them more than 3 or 4 days because you get the rebound effect. You know what I'm talking about there in certain medications. Other medications you may have a reaction to. People just don't like taking medication. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do that I've done, which helped me, is you got to look for homeopathic formulations. There are homeopathic decongestants. There are homeopathic cleansers. There are salines to keep the inside of the sinus clean, and sometimes changing your diet, getting off dairy, peanuts, because you may be allergic to certain things, or pollens in the ear, or maybe your air duct is dirty, or your air filters need to be changed, something mold or something you may be allergic to. There's different combination of factors, or maybe where someone you work, or someone that smokes, or maybe perfume, something's reacting, it's closing it up. So you got to search for the cause, because if you just take these medicines, you haven't gotten to the root of your problem. And I'm sure we all agree with that. So the other thing that's extremely beneficial is a steamer. A little steamer, $20, $25. I like eucalyptus. I like peppermint. I like menthol. You can put it inside or put it below the nose. As you steam, the steam is the best thing in the world. It releases, breaks down the mucus, opens up the eustachian tube. You can do it 10 minutes, twice a day, maybe once a day. You see how it feels. It's safe. It's very, very effective. But the doctors never told me steam. I said to the doctors, I'm steaming. They say, that's a great idea. So you're here because it's a great idea that we're all learning together. So the other thing is a neti pot. A neti pot, as you can see right here, you could put a saline solution. You could pour it into one nose, and then you kind of tilt your head over, and it goes into the other side of the septum, into the other part of the nostril, and it makes its way out. So you do the right side, you do the left side, and it kind of cleans the inner sinus region. A lot of people who have eustachian tube dysfunction will notice that they've had chronic sinus problems. You might have had surgeries in the past, and you might have felt great, and all of a sudden now you have this condition. Well, it's a total separate entity, but they are interrelated. Now, you see this right here. This is just say nasal spray, homeopathic, good saline solution that has moisturizer in there. This helps remove any sinus mucus, irritants, allergens, debris, drug-free. But it's very important that you understand this right here, that when you spray this in your nose, and most people will just say, okay, put it in my nose, 2 sprays, pss, pss, other side 2 sprays, pss, pss, sniff it in. That's wrong. In order to get to eustachian tubes, the eustachian tube is on the outer side of each nose, right behind the nasal region. The outer side, it's not up in here in the sinus, it's on the outer side. So what you need to do, this should be like perpendicular to your nose, your right nostril, okay? And then what you'll do is you'll bring your head all the way down, and then you'll pump 2 sprays, But I want this angled outside to the outer part of the nose, not the inner or up. If it's the outer part, because as you keep it perpendicular to your nose, because you don't want it to go up the sinuses, okay? And then you go down this way and you spray, it should be outwards this way. You see how it's outwards? And if you're doing the other side, it's this outwards. But perpendicular means this way. It's not up, it's this way. You just bring your head down, okay? And when you spray it, 1, 2, you easy. You sniff up easy in each nostril, not hard because it will go in your throat. Now, here's the trick. The trick is that when you inhale it, it's the 2 sprays, because generally what you'll get on most of these sprays, 2 sprays in each nostril, you go pss, pss, as you do it, just as you do it lightly. Now here's the trick. The trick is that all the saline is here, or whatever homeopathic formula you use is here. What you want to do is you want to blow it in the eustachian tube. You're saying, how do I do that? The reason why doctors can't help you with this is because they can't get in your eustachian tube. Okay? You can't get in from the outside of the ear. So what you're going to do immediately, you're going to grab both nostrils after you spray them both. Grab both nostrils and squeeze it. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath through your mouth, and as you close your mouth, just blow air with a closed mouth like, and as you blow the air, holding both nostrils, you're going to hear your ears pop. That's the eustachian tube opening up. Ah, that's the eustachian tube opening up. So you're feeling the eustachian tube, you're hearing the eustachian tube opening up, but the most important thing is do not blow hard, because you can hurt yourself, because you have air pressure going in the eustachian tube, going into the eardrum, middle ear. So if you blow too hard, you can be pushing that eardrum out. And if you push it out too hard, it's going to be very painful. Okay? So after your sprays, you hold both nostrils, take a deep breath, hold your mouth closed when you blow out, like, do it 2-3 times. You'll feel your ears pop. Those are your eustachian tubes opening up. And they may feel even clogged a little bit, but they'll eventually open up. You can do it lightly again. Okay? Yawn after. Open your mouth wide. Ah, ah, ah. When you do that, it opens the eustachian tubes to help balance out the pressure. Now, the other important tip is this. You're going to do that same technique throughout the day. Okay? You're just going to hold your nose, both nostrils. So you take just a nice little deep breath, and you're just going to keep the mouth closed when you blow out, and keep the mouth closed when you blow. It's called valsalvas. Valsalvas. You're putting intra pressure inside, but don't blow too hard. So as you blow, you just keep the mouth closed. Those little breaths, and you'll open the eustachian tubes. But do that throughout the day. Do it every hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It will really help tremendously, because it will help balance and equalize that internal and external pressure in the eustachian tube. So we reviewed so much information, but great information. I know this is going to help you. It's got to help you. As you continue to make progress, just continue to eat well. Do the right thing. Lots of greens, juice. Get some, if you got wheatgrass, spirulina, get the greens inside you. Drink lots of fluids, lots of water. In the morning, water and lemon to help detox your system. Cleanse your system. Stay away from the allergens, the toxins, the things potentially that could be inflaming and irritating this. There's a lot of great homeopathic formulations out there. But there's so much you can do, but the key thing is we need to equalize and balance that internal pressure of the eustachian tube and the outside of the eardrum. Because if that pressure is off, that's going to cause sensory disturbances within and cause a neurological change back into that inner ear, potentially causing these types of sounds, these whirling sounds, these hissing sounds, these low sounds, whatever it is. But you need to keep those eustachian tubes open. And again, a lot of times it takes time, so have patience. So I pray that this is really helpful for you, and I ask you to leave your questions below and share the video for those that can benefit. I think that many of you will benefit. And again, you may not get 100% better overnight, but if you can see progress, you're on your way to recovery. Subscribe if you haven't, so you can continue to receive more of our self-help videos. And most important, make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandell.